we were going to have like an amazing 2020, which was full of like festival shows and like live shows all summer. And then coronavirus hit and everywhere's closed.
You manage Rebecca Garton and Levelle London. Can you tell me how you kind of got started working with them?
Levelle London, I met through another manager that I was working with, and she was actually managing him at the time. She was Koji Radical's manager, and so we kind of joined forces because I was at uni at the time managing an artist called Shay Universe, and I couldn't really manage the kind of uni life and managing an artist in London and the kind of back and forth. So at the time we took on Shay. Well, I had her and then she joined and we started to co-manage, and under her, she had an artist called Afronauts, Koji Radical, and also Levelle London. And then as we started to work closer, and I left uni, me and Levelle started to get a bit closer in the way that we worked, and actually ended up having, I guess, a stronger kind of management bond. And then he asked me just to manage him on his on my own, basically. So that's how I met Levelle. While I was in uni, I actually had an internship at Crown Management. So they manage music artists, they manage like actors and presenters and stuff. Like they have like Stacey Solomon, one of the guys that were on in like a band, and just different presenters. And there was like a music team. I was on the entertainment team at the time, but there was a music team which I kind of kept scooting over. And I met the guy that I co-managed Rebecca with, and his name was Sam. And at the time he was managing Angel. And then when I left uni, I got in contact because I was looking for work. He asked me to come on as his assistant, to help with Rebecca, and I was just so like, I just needed something to do and like to get my foot back into music. I started assisting for him, and then we worked really, really well together. Rebecca really loved my input. I think it was better for her to have a female on the team, and then she wanted me to get involved with the management side. So yeah, that's how I started with both of them.
That's really cool, and it's good, you know, that you got all that experience at university. If you put that time in, you're more likely to, you know, do big things sort of in the industry, innit?
Yeah, definitely. Uni, you can either just focus on the study, which is okay, but one thing that I did realize is that your actual degree doesn't help you unless you've got some sort of experience to go with it, which is a bit different. Or you're really young and open to kind of like molding into the company's, like, I don't know, little minion. Yeah. But I was older when I went to uni. I started uni when I was 22 and had come out of music to learn more about it. So yeah, I knew that wasn't going to be as easy just to get a degree and then go into the music industry.
When do you think that artists should consider getting a manager?
With everyone, it's different. I definitely think artists need to kind of start their career first, and then see what their strengths and their weaknesses are. I definitely say, do you need a manager? Are you so organized that everything that a manager might do for you, you don't need at the moment? Because some people are happy to manage themselves until they get to a certain point where they're like, okay, I can't catch up with all of these emails, organize these meetings by myself, because, you know, I need someone that's going to represent me. Depending on the type of artist you are, you're going to need a certain type of manager. Both of my artists, they love the creativity of everything. They are very, very involved in what they do, but they do need someone that's going to organize their day-to-day, that's going to go into a meeting, because although they're amazing on stage, they're quiet and they're a little bit introverted just in real life. So they're going to need someone that's going to step into the meeting and speak on their behalf and represent them when it comes to radio and speaking to people, getting their songs out there. So it's really just, once you know what you're kind of lacking as an artist, then you look for that person to kind of complete you, I guess, as your manager.
So in terms of, you know, you being a manager, what would you like people to realize about management that they might not realize? Because I imagine a lot of people will be like, oh, it must be so good. You have gigs and festivals, you do all the best stuff without having, like, what do you think people need to realize?
I think people need to realize that being a manager is more than like a 9 to 5. It's like you become, I guess, best friends with your artist. What I would firstly say is that when you do find that an artist that you're going to manage, you don't clock off at the end of a shift, and that's that. You become like your artist's closest person, their friend, their confidant, their therapist, their everything, and you're on a journey together. So if you're starting with an artist that isn't already in the charts, isn't flying high, you're going through like a journey together. There'll be times when you might have a lot of money. There'll be times where you might have no money at all. Like I've been in situations with my artists. People see the glitz and glamour, like, oh my gosh, you're on tour, you're at a show, this is amazing, it's so fun. But no, we've been on tour, we've fought for tours and we've managed to get them. And then we're like, okay, but we're also now going to have to pay for travel around the UK, accommodation. How are we going to get this together? Because we're not getting as much money as we're probably going to get back from this, but it's an opportunity. So it's a lot of sacrifice, and that's in terms of time, money, and sleep. Yeah, it's a big sacrifice to become a manager. But if your heart is in it and you believe in your artist, I would definitely say go for it.
In terms of, Rebecca and Levelle, like, what are you most proud of, you know, during your time with them?
I was very, very proud when we got signed, which with Rebecca. Levelle got signed just before I took on management. But I think with Levelle, it's been a harder journey because his deal wasn't as big. Getting onto the Gecko tour was amazing for him. Shooting multiple videos, getting our playlists with him. It's like been small but really significant achievements with him that have been really, really good. With Rebecca, I would say getting signed was amazing. I actually had my first kind of trip abroad off the back of her, which was going to LA. Both of our first working trip was kind of going to LA. She supported Summer Walker, which was amazing. She supported Burna Boy, which was also amazing. And she did a Pink Sweats tour, which was really, really, it was such a good tour. Like she started to build her fan base from there. And then at the end of last year, she went on tour with Mae Muller. And that was just because they have two completely different audiences, and Mae Miller's like the more she kind of came off the back of Little Mix's tour, so she's got like these young, like beautiful little girls that just love her, and Rebecca kind of got that chance to kind of experience that kind of audience, which was great. It was a great experience. Like we've all grown so much and like learned so much from kind of all working together, and even just being able to introduce my artists to each other and seeing them have a bond. Like a lot of people don't realize that managers might have artists that never talk to each other because they see each other either as competition, or they feel like this one's gonna get more attention than I am. But Rebecca and Levelle, they really get on and they kind of motivate each other and like tell each other about the struggles that they go through, which is, we're like a little family. So that's what I really, really like. That's really great.
It's true. There must be that competition, like always vying for your attention, and you know that must be quite tough. I imagine two artists must be quite difficult, especially if, you know, they both really need you at a particular moment. You alluded to it like before it's recording, but how has coronavirus and obviously the lockdown at the moment, how has that affected like your artists and your plans?
I think for us, it's kind of just like staying engaged. We're really struggling with not having live performances. Like just before coronavirus broke, Levelle was meant to have his headline show, which was for his mixtape, Cold Summer Nights, that had just come out, and that got cancelled. And we were devastated because we thought it was going to be a really good one. a chance for people to see him live, like a chance for people to really take in this mixtape that he had worked so hard on, and we had actually worked so hard to get out. So that was a bit of a disappointment. And we just kind of felt like off the back of those shows, with both Levelle and Rebecca, we were going to have like an amazing 2020, which was full of like festival shows and like live shows all summer. And then coronavirus hit and everywhere's closed. And it's like everything is online. But with artists that are quite quiet and they thrive being on stage, but not so much entertaining people on Instagram Live. We've really had to kind of figure out how we're gonna rebrand ourselves and build again, because you know, like it's not everyone's comfort zone to just be on live and talk to people. Everyone has that anxiety where it's like, oh, are people gonna even tune in? Especially as a growing artist, are there gonna be people that watch my stuff? But I think in everything that we've done, we are still building. We're having to come up with new ways to market, use our initiative with like ways that we're going to shoot video. So it's affected us, but it's really made us kind of come together and just think of new, innovative ideas.
It's interesting to see kind of artists, what they do come up with in terms of like, music videos and stuff. But what is it like kind of managing during this time, you know, looking after your artists and kind of trying to manage that disappointment that the gigs and tours and stuff has ended?
It's really difficult because sometimes it's like, so what do we do? And I don't know myself. Like Levelle is he produces, he's an engineer, and he records everything himself. He writes everything himself. Well, most of the time he'll produce the beat himself. So with him, he's constantly still making music. So he's like, so how do we put it out? But we don't have videos, and there's only so much video that you can shoot in a house. So that's the struggle that we have with him. Rebecca, we have an EP ready. Like we have a huge feature from America, and he was so excited about the song. And then it's like, oh, now we can't go over and shoot. So how are we going to make a video work with like an artist that is in another country, in a completely different climate? And it's kind of like a love song, so you would want them to be together. How are we going to do it? So it's like, it's difficult, and it's hard to manage that disappointment, because as a manager, you're disappointed yourself. Like we've all worked to get to this point where we're like so excited about finishing this EP or finishing this project or getting this new song out. And then it's like, okay, so what now? Like how is it going to reach that point that we wanted it to get? Because are people even listening to as much music? They're not on the train going to work. They're not just sitting with their headphones in anymore. So are people going to tune in? So it's a bit of it's quite, we can get quite anxious about it. And to be honest, all three of us have gone through a phase where we're like a bit down in this lockdown, and it's normal. We've all had to kind of hold each other up because it's difficult. It's a difficult time for all of us, but we're getting through it. We're coming up, we've realised we're in it, so we're just going to have to deal with it, and we have to just keep punching on and keep moving.
It's good that you've got that, like, a solid team, and the fact that your artists get on as well. That's probably good. Despite coronavirus, and once this all gets resolved in that, what are your next targets going to be for both artists?
So it's going to kind of be to try and, I guess, rebook the lives. Because the truth is, if you had a moment in time where everyone wanted you on their stage, it doesn't mean that now someone new isn't going to come along and take that place. So nothing's guaranteed. So it's kind of to continue the momentum that we were starting to build, continue to get back out there on the live, use this time on, I guess, social media to build up your audience so that we have people coming out to the shows as we intended, shoot more videos, do more interviews, do more TV. Like, I guess this time has actually opened, okay, this is what we could have been doing. So it's given us new ideas of what we can do when we get out. So it's just I guess it's just, we just want to continue to build and become bigger and better. So yeah, so that's for them. For me, I also have my own plans. So
What have you learned about yourself and others from management?
I've learned that actually I'm quite patient. I
Mm.
used to always like say, oh, I'm so impatient because I hate things like queues and stuff like that. But like working with artists, your patience has to be at another level. And it's not because, oh, they're so difficult. It's just that they rely on you and you rely on them. So they rely on you to help them build their career. But as a manager, you're also building your career. So if they don't work, then you're not working. So resilience, I've learned, patience, strength, and fun. I think I've learned how to have a lot of fun and enjoy my job while I do it, because not every time, it's not all about money when it comes to working in music. Like I'm sure you know, there's some things that you might have to do for free, but you have to, if you enjoy what you're doing, it's not as much of a problem. Maybe sometimes not having the money that you believe is going to come along with having such a showbiz life. So yeah, I think all of that, I've learned all of that while being a manager, and that's throughout my whole journey, not just with these two.
Thanks to Shikayla for a great conversation. Coronavirus has really put the brakes on so many artists, and now more than ever, we need to give them our support. So please check out Levelle London and Rebecca Garton, stream their music, and follow them on social media. Next week, my guest is Lily Casely. We discuss her latest single, C'est la vie, which has been getting a lot of press and attention. Lily has bags of potential, which we discuss in depth. Please show your support for Connected. Please click like and subscribe so I can keep growing this series and keep bringing you great guests. And as always, keep safe and keep connected.